What's happening, y'all? What's goody? How's everybody feeling today on this great, wonderful Friday? That's right, y'all. It's Friday. It's time for the weekend. Look, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are tuning into this show. I truly appreciate it because you are now tuning into the Arrington Gavin Podcast. Look, I am your friend, your homie, your bro, uh, the guy that you always like to have a great sit down convo one on one. Yeah, I'm Arrington Gavin, host of the Arrington Gavin Podcast, coming to you, of course, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via YouTube and Facebook. Look, got a lot to talk about today. We have some a lot of stories coming out, like a lot of new stories coming out, man. And at first I was like, because I got a busy day today, man. I got two Christmas parties happening. Tomorrow got a event I'm gonna be attending, and it's the holiday season, so it's a very busy season. So I was like, did I want to skip and just do like just pass on and I'll talk with you all in the next week? No, I wanted to talk with you all today. I want to talk with you all today because so much stuff has come up throughout this week, and I have got to talk about it with you. So the first thing I will bring up is about NBA star Draymond Green. um as you know, Draymond has always been a hothead in a sense, right? So Draymond has that what can I say? He has that reputation of being the bad boy on the Golden State Warriors, right? And it's funny, so my wife and my in-laws are diehard Warriors fans. Now I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a diehard Knicks fan till I die. I will. And it's funny because I've never lived in New York City. It's a dream of mine to live in New York City, but I have a lot of family. All my family on my mother's side are New Yorkers. My mom, my aunt, everybody, they're New Yorkers. And growing up as a kid, and even to this day, I go to nothing but Knicks games, home games. The Garden is nothing like it, and I just I love it. But anyway, not trying to get sidetracked. Um, I've now inherited a Golden State Warriors family. Huge fan. I've been to a couple Warriors games, and let me tell you something. In San Francisco, in the Bay Area, they love their Warriors. They treat them like Jesus Christ himself. Uh so I say all that to say I've never been a Draymond fan. I understand his position on the squad, but I've never been a Draymond fan because at the end of the day, why do you enjoy a guy that's always getting ejected, always bad mouthing the refs, always getting the brawls with the opposing players on the team? It gets old to an extent. It gets really old. But Draymond is a great player. I mean, at the end of the day, hey, he's a four-time NBA champion. He's a four-time, I believe, NBA All-Star. Uh, Big guy, big defensive player. But he's always getting himself caught up in situations on getting fined. Like there has never been a playoff game where he has received fines for ejections or suspend. He was forced to be suspended a game during the play. Like it's a regular thing. But again, to make his case, every NBA team has their Dennis Rodman in a sense, right? Dennis Rodman was not only a multi-time, I think he was a five-time NBA champion, defensive player of the year, but he's also been that dog in the squad, right? You always have to have that one player that gets into the opposing side's head that always will, hey, don't worry if you need me to to kind of bust out into an argument with somebody or get into a fight, because see, fights distract players, right? It cuts a team off their rhythm. In my opinion, that's why Draymond really still has this position there. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but the fans love him. He helps sells out uh uh you know arenas. He's a multi-time NBA champ. the Warriors want to they want to keep their original players as most of, as what am I trying to say? They never want to try and break up their original team. Now, some of their players have come and gone. Some of the players have retired. I know Iguodala's retired because I would consider him a part of that dynasty squad. But uh, the key players on the Golden State Warriors is Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. There's their top three, right? That's their Jordan, Scotty, and Rodman, in my opinion. Um, just like any other championship, squad, right? So Draymond recently has gotten himself into a little pickle. He was playing against the Phoenix Suns, and there's a video. I won't show the. I don't know if I can even have the video pulled up here, but he has. It just shows him freaking. I mean, for no reason, just swings like helicopter punch to the I can't even pronounce his name, Yusuf Nurkic of the Phoenix Suns in square in the face. No reason. No reason. Gets him ejected from the game. Now, during the same season, Draymond went viral because he choked out Rudy Gobert. He was literally like putting him in a chokehold and not letting go. Pretty sure before this season he was in the same. I haven't really been paying attention too much of the regular season, but of course, they always put out the highlights of certain games on ESPN, this and any other. So again, Draymond has gotten himself in a pickle. Now, suspended indefinitely until the NBA says otherwise, they can bring him back. So right now, he out of a job. He ain't playing. And I don't know if the NBA will make an example out of Draymond and say, okay, look, we're going to take you out of the full season. We're going to take you out midway. We don't know. We don't know when. We don't know when the suspension will go. But what I do know is that it's about damn time. Now, I might be a little biased because I'm not a Draymond fan, but at the end of the day, you don't want to turn the sports into like, okay, this is just the sport where players have the filter to squad up, to get in brawls, get in fights, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, look, players are also humanitarians. They each franchise has a requirement of doing community service hours, because it's not the fact that they have to meet a quota, it's the fact that they are trying to promote. You guys represent a city, you represent a state, you are representing young individuals that look up to you, right? Set a good example, damn it. Set a good example. Draymond, in my opinion, is not that guy that sets a good example. To me, I barely pay attention at his gameplay because he's always, if it's not that, he's showing just the ugliest face expression. If a ref gets a foul, like it's always something. It's always something. And Draymond loves it. Trust and believe. Draymond loves the attention. He loves being the bad boy. Who doesn't love to play a villain? I mean, at this point, he loves to play in that villain role. Now, my thing is, Draymond is 33 years old. Not an old guy, but not a young guy. He has been with the Golden State Warriors, I want to say since 2012. Now the question is Golden State getting tired of Draymond's crap, or is it the NBA? Because by now, the Golden State Warriors would be like, all right, bye Draymond, we gotta trade you for somebody, because you always getting fined, you always getting us, in trouble, this and that and the other. Like, what's gonna be next? Because marketing wise, as a team owner, the owner wants to continue to sell tickets. He wants to continue to fill up those seats in his arena. That's the only thing he cares about. Okay. Now, are they still selling Draymond's jerseys? Because if so, has it affected his jersey sales or has it increased? Because again, people, true Golden State Warriors fans love Draymond. They think he's the innocent. They always think he's the victim. But I say this, I don't think they're teaching him a lesson. Nah. I don't think all of this, trust and believe, Draymond hasn't learned a lesson. Draymond's enjoying this, okay? Draymond loves what's going on right now. Now, during off seasons and sometimes even I think during the regular season or playoffs, Draymond's doing some analyst work. He has his own podcast. Um, Now during all his free time, is he gonna have his podcast? Because if so, now that's more money because that podcast he owns that. That podcast, even though it's under a network, I'm pretty sure he still has a huge percentage in that podcast. So with all this time on his hands, is that more money, more listenership, more viewership for his podcast? Come on, who's really taking a L here in a sense? It seems to me the NBA is taking the L more than Draymond Green. But I'll put in my 2 cents how I feel about Draymond. I'm not a fan of Draymond. You sometimes can understand his position on the squad, but eventually it gets old, it gets tiring, and at this point, let a dude swing on me like he did with Yusuf. I'm responding, and I'm look. They better have everybody holding me back because that I don't let that slide easy. I remember years back, I think a few seasons ago, Draymond and then Jordan Poole, former one of his teammates, got into a brawl. He popped Jordan like square in the face. Like, I mean, come on. We ain't having that. We ain't having that. But just wanted to bring that up because that's fairly big news in the sports world, y'all. Even if you're not a Warriors fans, Draymond Green suspended indefinitely by the NBA after getting ejected from a game playing the Suns after striking Suns Yusuf Nurkic. So again, I will continue to follow up with this. I will want to try and bring some of my friends who are experts in the sports field. I even might hit up my brother-in-law and see if he wants to do a episode or two about this because he is he has experience. He's a former NBA, a former professional basketball player. He's played many years overseas. He's a former UK Wildcat. I mean, great experience, man. So I'm curious to get his thoughts on this. But again, I just wanted to start the show speaking on Draymond because again, I'm like, whoa, this dude they are not messing around. So I want to get to you to chop that up and talk more on that later on. But as of right now, I'm gonna move on to another story. All right, I'm gonna move on to another story. I'm gonna keep it in the sports world. So, player for I believe he's with the Washington. Let me see. Kendall Fuller. He's a strong state defensive back, and I want to say he plays for the Washington Commanders, but I could be wrong because he might be with the Bills. Let me see here. Let me see here. Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller. Who's he with right now? He's with the Commanders. He's with the Commanders. So, cornerback Kendall Fuller of the Washington Commanders. And I want to say he's also the team captain. Hell of a player. He played at Virginia Tech. So, and this is not really like a trending story, but it's just a story I wanted to share with you all. So, Kendall Fuller is very open about his faith. He's very vocal and does not hold back his true what's the word I'm looking for? He does not hold back his thoughts on his faith. And I think sometimes being a public figure, being a professional athlete has it doesn't have it doesn't have consequences, but it's very difficult to be a public figure and be vocal about Christianity because at the end of the day, not all of your fan base are Christians. Not or just into your not just not just being a professional athlete or a public figure, but like I said, branding, business ownership, owning a small business. I know for myself that I have to not always share my opinions on politics in the workplace. I know I cannot always share my opinions on my faith in the workplace. I know I can't, you just can't always share your opinions in certain areas. And it's not the fact that you're not allowed to, but it's all about the response, right? If you are trying to cater to the rafters or to the masses, and you're trying to hopefully make a name for yourself in all households, you have to sometimes keep certain beliefs quiet, certain beliefs like to yourself. So I bring up Kendall Fuller because Kendall Fuller is a Christian. He's very vocal about his faith, and he is a supporter of a Christian group of professional athletes. And the article kind of paints it as, oh, Kendall Fuller supports anti-LGBTQ group with my cause, my cleats on during Pride Day. Now, in the NFL, they will promote certain area, like, okay, they have the of course the when they wear pink for breast cancer awareness month. They've had shoes and cleats where athletes speak on social injustice, right? um Juneteenth, any holiday, any day you can think of, or any uh known cause, the NFL, gets involved, and they will support, and they will be like, okay, now we want all the we want uh uh all of the players, all the franchises to get involved. Um Now, which I think is pretty cool, is the fact that they are allowing players to be their own individuals and share their own beliefs. So for example, you can go back to when it was the pandemic, and Aaron Rodgers was very vocal about being against getting vaccinated. Sometimes, well, a good portion of the time he got criticized. Uh, but he still talks about it to this day. I mean, he makes it into like a joke, like that's his only joke that he can ever talk about. Talk about. He made a comment about Travis Kelsey being on a Pfizer commercial, so he calls him Mr. Pfizer. He throws his jabs, and it's kind of it's actually very corny, because it's like an old chuckle. It's an old joke, so he overdoes it. But they're allowing players to be very vocal. So with Kendall Fuller, he supports the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, with the My Cause, My Cleats. Now, where I think is a little unfair is the fact that just because this man has the right to he has the right to disagree with certain beliefs. That's his right. That's his right. He shouldn't be forced to agree or promote something just because it's a franchise is meeting a quota, because hey, it's the rules, it's we have to do it, boss's orders, or all the other franchises are doing, so why can't we? So it's that shouldn't be allowed. Nor does him supporting this group make him a hater a critic of of the LGBTQ community. Like, I think that's where a lot of frustration occurs between the LGBTQ community and just outside individuals, like, just the straight individuals, Christians, anybody that is not a part of that community. Because, for one, a lot of people are still learning. They're still students, right? Two, if you say, hey, look, my faith says this and this and that, like, there's debates between Christians and people from the Alpha community, which in my opinion, and I'm a Christian, but guess what? I have close friends that is a part of the LGBTQ community, and they are my friends for life, and I treat them with nothing but respect, and I will always treat them with respect. Where I stand is the fact that, hey, look, everyone should love who they want to love and live their life the way they want to and be treated. That's for me. Now, I'm not uh uh, uh a Bible thumping, person where I smack you with the word and this and that. I know that the Bible most likely doesn't agree with what occurs in the LGBTQ community. I know that. But at the end of the day, I've learned to always put my feelings, my thoughts, and I will say, thou shalt not judge. And I'm a person where I will never judge, and I will never be a person where, hey, I'm not going to tell this individual how to live their life. Again, I will say it again. I believe in pro-choice. I believe that you should love who you want to love, be who you want to be. That is where I stand with that. Now, if an individual like Mr. Kendall Fuller says, hey, look, on Pride Month, I'm gonna wear my claws, my keys because I'm not for those views, then he shouldn't get criticized because that's his opinion. That's his voice. He's promoting his choice. That is his choice. That is his voice. No one should criticize him. So I just wanted to look up this story again. Kendall Fuller, he is a cornerback for the Washington Commanders. 28 years old, great, hell of an athlete. He's actually team captain, and yeah, he's very vocal, but he's getting some pushback from certain organizations about his choice of of wearing those shoes. And I just think that's where, come on, that's where we draw the line. Like, chill, please, chill. It's That stuff is getting old. Um, but that's just me. That's just me, y'all. That's just me. Let me get here. Let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I'm gonna bring up two more stories, and then you're gonna give me your thoughts on what you think about this. All right, we'll be back with more of the Arrington Gavin Podcast, presented by Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is the new smooth.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Don't you just love that? Rugged is the new smooth. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, my beard's looking a little rough right now. It's feeling good, but it's looking a little rough right now. Look, I want to move on to this next story, talking about your favorite former congressman, Mr. George Santos. Yes, that's right. That's right. I say former congressman because the man just basically got kicked out of Congress, and that's been the first time ever a congressman has been expelled from the House. And the reason why is because this man flat out lied on everything on his resume. And when I mean everything, I mean everything, y'all. Like, his education, he lied to his donors during his campaign. He's lied about his family. He's lied about so much until it is just flat out just it's weird. It's so weird. Um it was a funny article, and this was actually reported by the Huffington Post. I think this, yeah, Huffington Post. The fact that Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN all denied interest in hiring George Santos. So the reason why this is a funny story, because I would say 85 to 89% of the time, when a politician, when a congressman, when a anybody that has served in Congress or Senate federally, hell, even a local council person, when they retire, a lot of them can get a gig by being an analyst, a contributor, any form of a commentator, right? Political commentator for certain networks. Excuse me. I know you have CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and News Nation. I will say those are right now currently the top. At least they're all like more notable uh 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 cable networks. And out of all those cable networks, I mean, you got so many former politicians, former this, former that. Set aside from being like staff members, you get so many former congress people. It's just a given. It's like, why not? It's just like when professional athletes retire. Most of the time they're gonna get a analyst job, and because they have the expertise of talking about, a certain sport, just like a politician. When a congressman finishes their term, or if they are done or retire, then they go into becoming a political commentator. Because why? They trust their point of view, the fact that they've been there, done that. So it's like, okay, why not hire them? Now with George Santos, again, the man lied. He lied on everything. The man lied about his education. The man lied to his donors because he used the donor money to get Botox and whatnot. He got OnlyFans pages, and he said he honestly, he can get a job on Broadway or in Hollywood, because he's a hell of an actor. He can act his ass off by saying, "What are you talking about? I don't know what that is." That's insane. Like, he is, till this day, he's still doing it. But it's gonna be a hard time with George Santos, because like, who is gonna hire him? The fact of the matter is, you're famous for being the biggest resume liar ever. Like, who is gonna hire this guy? Who? 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 Who is gonna hire this guy? And there might be some desperate company that's gonna give him a shot. Hey, maybe Zeus Network can give you a political show. I mean, they're, God, I'm not. Let me not go there. But there's gonna be a network that's gonna be desperate enough to hire that guy, and I can't wait to see who it will be. He might start a podcast, and he might be successful at that. Because again, nowadays, if you're a very controversial figure, you're an instant success. Who doesn't love a little controversy? Everybody loves a little controversy. They do. I'm not lying. Everybody love a little controversy. Everybody loves a little controversy. And it will be interesting. Like, I mean, there were people in his own party that couldn't stand this guy. Um, of course, people on the opposing, well, a lot of people on the opposing side wanted to keep him. And I think it's because since he made them look so bad, they're probably like, "Oh, come on, we got to keep this guy. Come on, keep George Santos, keep him. Nah. Yeah." But, but he has been one of the most he'll probably make the Times most influential people because of his fall from grace. I mean, you're talking about just his career downward spiral. Like, he is, it's scary. It's scary. It has to be a scary situation for him, because it's like, where do you walk publicly, like, without getting bombarded, being called this, being called that? Like, it's tough. It is tough. And out of all jobs you want to run in politics, and you're not going to get caught. Whoo! Let me tell you something about common sense, y'all. Let me tell you something about common sense. Without common sense, you just can't survive without it. You really can't. You really can't. Um. Okay, I'm getting tired of talking about George Santos. Okay, moving on. Moving on to our final story. So King James, that's right. I'm talking about LeBron James. Lebanon James, as Mr. Brown said it in Medea's family reunion. Um, LeBron James is he's off of a high of winning the first ever in tournament championship game, right? NBA NBA regular season tournament. They won. He's the MVP. Kudos to them. I kind of got a little conspiracy theory though. I feel like the NBA kind of like rigged that so he will win, just so he can like say, "Oh, LeBron got technically another championship. Just it was a tournament championship, not NBA Finals, but he won. He got something. So it's just I'm just curious. I'm just curious on what this I'm curious on like, okay, what was the mindset of this in this in tournament season? But that's another story. The story that I want to bring up with you all is the fact that recently LeBron James, his wife and his daughter, uh was attending a USC basketball game. His son Bronny, phenomenal basketball player, which honestly very blessed to still be competing because he had recently had a health scare a while back with cardiac arrest, and he's doing great right now. And he recently him and his family attended one of his games, and while they attended, it was mid during the national anthem. And while everybody was standing hand on the flag, players of course were standing. LeBron and his family, they creep on in courtside seats and they sit down. His whole family, they sit down while the anthem was still playing. Now, you obviously was going to know that people were going to be responding to they were still going to be responding to him sitting down. They're like, "Oh, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it," because really the last known athlete to ever do something in this form was Colin Kaepernick. Obviously, that didn't help Colin Kaepernick's career because after he did that, he never played a down ever, and he since then is trying to make comebacks, which I very believe is never going to happen. Um, but LeBron James is the king of the NBA right now. He is the most marketable professional athlete. He is the spokesperson for all of the NBA. He is the GOAT. Okay, he is the GOAT. Now, I'm unaware of his reason why they sat down during the anthem. I believe we will find out sooner or later. But and this is reported, guys, by the Daily Caller, which the Daily Caller is a fairly conservative um media outlet. So that of course I just want to explain the title of what they have as, LeBron James sits down during national anthem is completely disgraceful. Hey, being a conservative outlet, of course they're gonna be really digging hard with this because their whole mantra is that, hey, look, we're pro this, we're pro that. If you sit down the flag, you just need to get the hell out of here, yada yada yada. Now, the difference between as of right now, the difference between him and Kaepernick had a reason. He had a cause that he was trying to bring awareness to. So he said, "What can I grasp? What can grasp everybody's attention? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a knee during the anthem. I'm not gonna take a squat. I'm not gonna, make funny face. No, I'm gonna take a knee pleasantly and put my head down while they play the anthem. Now, again, LeBron and his family, while everybody's still playing, and you see gentleman in the pink shirt taking a photo. If you can see right there, he has his phone out. Um, he is taking a seat while they're playing the anthem. Now, you you bring up, okay, did he sit down because he wanted to kind of like hide? He didn't want to be seen. No, because obviously people can know that you're there. They saw you walking in. So you sitting down, putting your head down, is it doesn't make sense. Again, LeBron, my question is, what was the reason behind you sitting down and your whole family sitting down during the anthem? Like, would it have killed you to, excuse me, would it have killed you just to stand up a few verses longer or a verse longer? Because again, they came there when it was already playing. So, um, and I'm not here to criticize. I just want to know what was the motive. Why were you sitting down? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Do I think he's disrespecting the flag by doing this? No. But honestly, I can't really answer that because I don't know why was he sitting down. Okay? Before y'all get frustrated, before all the, hey, don't, because I would say this is a show for everybody to watch. So I know there's people that are very conservative Republicans that probably tune into this, or just conservatives in general that tune into this podcast. I thank you. I appreciate you, because guess what? I'm friends with everybody. Okay? I'm friends with everybody. Now he has, of course, received criticism from other fellow pro athletes. Excuse me. Like NBA star Enes Kanter, who now goes by Enes Freedom. Enes Kanter, I know he had a stint with my Knicks. He's a free agent right now, but Enes Kanter, he's originally from Switzerland, played 11 years in the NBA. I think since then he's kind of like he's still a free agent, so he hasn't retired, but he has been more of an activist, political activist, and he's always been a pro advocate for the US. So if you do anything disrespectful about the US, or he's a great person in sports for, again, conservative outlets. He has had more of a impact, more of a um um promotion, right, on conservative outlet. He's always on Fox. He's always on Newsmax. He's always on the Daily Caller or Daily Beast. He's on all those stuff, Daily Wire. Um but he has always been a huge critic of LeBron James. He's like saying, I bet he even quoted saying, I bet you he would have stood up for China because he makes so much money off of them and this and the other. Look, sounds like somebody sipping on some haterade, because I don't know what his facts speak on, but he has always been the biggest hater of LeBron James. I think, and I can go later on for that another time on why he thinks, why he's a huge critic of LeBron and his issues that he really has with him. But again, he was one person to be very critical of LeBron James sitting down during the anthem. Then another guy, Colby Covington, who is a former UFC champion. He is a wait, is he? Let's see. Yes, he was a former welterweight champion, very successful UFC fighter, very vocal Trump supporter. He probably sucks Trump's toes if Trump asks him to. He loves that guy to death. He's always been especially while Trump was in office, he was saying, "Hey, that's the guy, let me," wearing the MAGA hat, it was kind of getting annoying. And he's very cocky. He's a very cocky individual. But like I said, he wins matches. He had a long uh rant about LeBron James, mainly saying, "Hey, look, if you hate the country that gave you $1 billion and this and that and the other, you need to go to either China or somewhere else. Just don't have it here and get that." I mean, he called him out so many names, man. I mean, like, I can't. I mean, he called him some stuff. Now, of course, Kobe won't say that to LeBron in his face because Kobe is 170, 5'11. LeBron is like 6'8", 275. I'm just being honest, Kobe. You said you talking a lot of cold cash, not in front of a man's face. To me, that's more of a punk move. That's just in my opinion. Y'all can put in your comments what you think about that. But again, I want to end this show off by speaking on this story because LeBron is not only a sports icon at this point, but he is a public figure. He's a massive public figure. So the fact of the matter is, this little, even though it might be a very small stunt, it's not like he, ran out the place naked or was fighting anybody, but it brings a discussion. It brings a question. What was his motive? While sitting down, I think it will be talked about more throughout the coming days and weeks. But it's interesting. It's interesting. That's all I can say. It's interesting, and I hope that you all can, give me your thoughts and opinions on this by leaving a comment at the bottom of this video on our YouTube channel, our Smooth Club Media, or even leaving a comment on our Facebook page at our Smooth Club Podcast. I will make a post about this story on our Twitter page, or on our X page, formerly known as Twitter. And yeah, just even DM me at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, because I'm curious. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, because you would really I would say this. I thought we were done with the whole protesting during an anthem or sitting out or taking a knee. I thought we were finished with this due to Colin Kaepernick, due to the fact that he still hasn't played in the NFL after that whole situation. So I just thought we would kind of comment down on that aspect. But until otherwise, I guess we're still involved. We're still having it. I don't know. But until next time, y'all, hope y'all enjoyed another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Podcast. Please be sure to subscribe, listen to us on all podcast platforms: iHeart, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google. I know all the podcast platforms. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast, and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's see, what else do we have? Tune into my weekly radio show in your city every Sundays, 12 p.m. In your city on WNSB 91.1 FM, the Soul of VA, with my good friends and family, comedian Ciroc Fox, as well as Hustle Queen Miss Michelle Young. And then, of course, I got to shout out our favorite producer, our only producer, but our favorite producer, Cam Godley of Hybrid Productions. And until next time, y'all, support. If y'all haven't done y'all Christmas shopping, shame on y'all, because guess what? I'm right there with you. I gotta finish doing my Christmas shopping. But just stay safe out there, and yeah, just be easy. And if I don't see y'all until then, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. But I'll try. Most likely, I'll put on a couple more shows for next week, because I do want to take a break and enjoy the holiday season, and especially my wife's birthday's coming up, so I'm gonna have to stay on the low to celebrate her awesome day. But until then, y'all, peace and blessings. Thank you for tuning into the pod. I'm out. See you next week on Monday, the Arrington Gavin Podcast.